Hi friends. Alright y'all, so I am back to give you guys a 1 month update of me living in the Dominican Republic. So I'm about a month and 3 days in, so I'm about 3 days late. But I want to give y'all an update on what my experience has been so far and what to expect. So I made a list. There's a few different things that I wanted to share with y'all, and I was gonna do like individual um, videos on each topic to go further into detail. But because I've let so much time pass, so much has just been piling and piling. So this video is just gonna be a compilation, a whole rundown of everything that I wanted to share with y'all. So I made a list so that I don't forget. The first thing I want to discuss is the VA healthcare. A lot of my friends was concerned about my healthcare because I am 100% disabled veteran and moving to this third world developing country. I get the concern if you haven't done any research or looked into the countries to see what's available here for us. So I get the concern. So just gonna give y'all an update on VA healthcare. So VA healthcare here is 100% better for me than it is in the US. There I still receive all of my benefits the same. My monthly payment, everything, nothing changes. No matter where in the world I go, that's not gonna ever change. Well, it's not supposed to with this new presidency term coming up. We don't know what else is going to change. But as of now, nothing's changed. Doctors. So in the U.S., we go to the VA clinic for all of our care. We don't pay for anything. Here, there are no official VA clinics or hospitals, but there are privatized clinics that only service vets. They're focused on veteran health care, mental care, physical care, all of that. They're privately owned, and there's multiple throughout the country. I want to say maybe about 6 different clinics throughout the country. They're all individually owned and operated. They don't work together at all. Their systems don't talk to each other. They're not official VA clinics, but they are vetted by the VA. And there is a program called FMP, that's the Foreign Medical Program. It's as simple as submitting a 1-page application with basic information and to the VA, and then the VA approves you to get your health care overseas. So with the clinics here, they actually submit the application for you. Now, I knew about the application before I got here, so I tried to, be proactive and submit my application before I came, just because I know anything with the VA takes time. So I wanted to have that in place already by the time I get here. So I did submit my application maybe about 2 weeks before I got here. But once I got here and got connected with the clinic, they actually submit the application for me because it has to come from that clinic. So the VA knows who to pay for your health care. So I had to do the application over when I got here, but it's just 1 page of basic information. So not a big deal. And the good thing is when the clinic submits that application for you, you don't have to wait those 30 days to get approved. They hit send on that application and immediately book your appointment. So healthcare here has been going great so far. Now, like I mentioned, there's 5 or 6 different clinics throughout the country: north, south, east. I didn't see any out west, but north, south, and east, there's a clinic for you. So of course, you guys know I'm living in Punta Cana, so I'm in the East Clinic. And my experience with them has been great. The concept is great. Execution is still a new program, so there's still some, you know, kinks that they're working out. I've only ran into issues with like communication, but the care itself has been top notch. Much better, much more than what I was receiving in the U.S. In the U.S., it would just be an appointment. You sit there, you answer questions, they write you a prescription. Here, I'm actually seeing the specialist that I need to see for the issues that I have. Now, that's one thing I want to mention. These clinics only treat you for your service-connected issues. If you have migraines, back pains, whatever you're serving, whatever you have a rating for, that's what they treat you for. So part of that application process is you submitting your award letter, the long one that has a list of all of your service connections, service connected disabilities. So that way they know what they can treat you for and not treat you for in that clinic. So they're, because it's a small community, they're able to focus more on you and the attention that you need for each matter. So you're gonna have some appointments. The good thing is that the appointments are not weeks and months out. I'm talking next day, next week, every week. They'll go over what your service connection issues are and book an appointment for you on the spot. So yeah, there's none of that waiting weeks and months for an appointment. I'm talking hours or days here. And in most cases, next day for the first appointment, then they build your treatment plan and tell you, okay, come back 2 days a week or once a week or, you know, twice a month, whatever it is. The appointments are available on demand. Another great thing about this clinic is that if you're just now finding out about this, and you want to test it out and see what it's like, you can do that. I think I don't know how often they do it, but they do these, what they call medical tours, to where basically all you're paying for is your flight out here, but there's a hotel that's only for military, and you come out here for a week, you stay at the hotel, no cost out of pocket to you. They feed you, they give you breakfast, they give you lunch. I think they do dinner too. They take you out, they provide transportation, they take you out, they take you to the clinic to give you a tour of the clinic so that you can meet the staff, you can meet the doctors, you can see everything that they offer. Even while you're here on that on this tour, they're booking appointments for you. You're going to take labs, you're going to see mental health, you're going to see physical therapy. After each of my appointments, I get a 30-minute massage, and that's for everybody. That's just given. You get a 30-minute massage, so there's a masseuse there. I mean, it's just amazing what they're doing here, and it has me looking back at the U.S. like, what are y'all doing? So I don't know why we don't have anything like this in the U.S. Maybe because it's a much larger community there than it is here. I don't know, but I know the care here is a lot better than what we get in the U.S. It's more focused on us and our health improvement, and I'm talking mental and physical. So they offer that medical tour. They take you to the clinic, give you a tour of the clinic, show you everything that they offer. They take you to a gift shop, a local shop where you can try the different chocolates, coffees. I'm not a big liquor drinker, so I forget the liquor that it was that they gave us samples of. But you get to shop in there. It's a little deli in there. What else? They take you down, to one of the hot spots in Punta Cana and show you property. So let me add that one of the owners of the hotel is Cheryl Henderson. She is an Army brat. Her dad was in the Army, so she takes full pride. She has a lot of pride in the military and loves to work with us and give back. She's a big real estate mogul here as well, big developer. So there's also an opportunity on the tour to take the real estate tour so that her team can show you some of the developments, the condos and everything that they're building, to give you a look at, something that you can invest in. You can, purchase to make it a rental property, a vacation home, or a second home for yourself, or something for you to live in, full-time or part-time, however you plan to spend your time here. So there's that. And I mean, it's a week packed with things to do. They also take you, they also, depending on the size of the group that comes for that week, they arrange different activities, like just for fun. Either go up the mountains and do meditation, yoga, the sound bowl, or an excursion, on a catamaran, just different activities they come up with based on the size of the group. But it's always going to be a week packed. Your day is going to be packed with things to do. And like I said, most of the expenses are covered. The only thing you would have to cover is your flight to and from, your round trip flight, and if you want a rental car, you'll have to pay for that. But other than that, transportation is provided. Ground transportation is provided. Even to your appointments, if they schedule you for medical appointments during the week, they're going to provide transportation. So it's just a great thing to look into if this is something that you're considering doing. I don't know if other countries have this program, but I know Dominican Republic does, and there's about 5 different clinics, just depend on what part of the country you live in. So that's my healthcare. It's amazing. Yeah, I'm getting far better treatment here. Have not been prescribed one pill yet. Right now I go twice a week to address, some of the medical concerns that I have. They have me on the treatment plan for those. And like I said, at the end of each appointment, I get a 30-minute massage, and that's included. So the way it works is that, you go to your appointment, you sign in, you sign out, and they submit that claim to the VA, and that's how they get paid. And sorry, trying to stick to my list, my iPad locked. So that's how the program works. So you don't pay anything out of pocket for any of your care as long as it's service connected. Spouses, they do offer some of the services to spouses as well at no charge. With children, it's case by case. I have been able to get Sinasine for an issue that she's having, but they haven't quite worked out the children dependent part yet. I'm not sure why. I don't know if maybe it's an age thing. That's what it was, because she's under 18. I think over 18 is no problem, but under 18 it's a case by case. So that's healthcare in a nutshell. I do plan on visiting the North Coast, and I'm gonna check out one of their clinics up there and see how it compares, because they each, they probably do some things the same and other things different. I don't know if the other clinics do the medical tours like they do here. They probably offer something different or something similar. So I'm gonna check out a clinic up north, because I still haven't decided if I want to stay permanently in Punta Cana or in another part of the country. That was my plan, to start here and then venture off and, check out other areas of the country to see what I love and what feels like home. So when I do visit the North Coast, I am also going to visit the VA partner clinic up there. So that's healthcare. The next thing on my list is advice for children. So, long story short, if living abroad is something that you want to do and you have children, I suggest to do it while they're young. Do it now. Because if you wait until they're older, big teenagers like my 16-year-old, it may not be a pleasurable experience for you. I'll say that. My plan coming here, my plan living abroad was supposed to start once she graduates and go to college, and then it's just me and my dogs. But when she got wind of my plan, I was having a conversation with someone, and she heard that. She was like, "What? You doing what? You going where?" So we had this whole back and forth because she never knew that was my plan. But when she heard it, and she was like, I want to go. So we went back and forth about this because I knew I didn't want to take her. I have the typical teenage problems with her, the attitude, the stubborn, don't want to do chores when I tell her to, and things like that. So I already knew I didn't want to bring her with me. My goal for living abroad is to live a peaceful life, a slower life where I don't have to work so hard to live, and just more simple, At 16, you don't think that way. At 40, you do, because you've lived a long time already and worked so hard already. At 16, we're just not in the same mental space. So I knew that what I was doing, what my plan was a plan tailored for me and my lifestyle, not a 16-year-old. But moving to the beach, moving to an island just sounded so fun to her, and she thought she wanted to come. So she invited herself, and I laid down the rules and told her what I was not going to be dealing with over here. And she's like, yeah, okay, I know. Okay. So we get here, and those rules kind of went out the door. And moving from where we have a very comfortable home. We have everything we need at the house in Texas. So she got accustomed to that. Moving to a developing country, we don't have everything right at our fingertips like we do at home. I knew to expect that. She is in shock, So it just honestly hasn't been the best experience having her here with me, just because she's older and she's already accustomed to being spoiled, having everything at home. And she missed her bed, and she missed this, and she missed that, and I didn't want to deal with that. That's exactly what I didn't want to deal with. And so some days she wakes up and has attitudes and don't want to do what I tell her to do when I tell her to do it, because she's so depressed and she's missing this and she's homesick and she missed her bed, and that's not why I came here. I came here to get away from all that, but she brought it with me. So I'm just not sure what her future is going to be here. She's in 11th grade now. She'll be a senior next year. So my decision on what I'm going to do with her is pending. But for you guys, if you haven't come out yet, you haven't moved abroad yet, do it while the kids are little, where they don't have so much sass and so many opinions, and kids are like sponges when they're little. So let them experience a different life while they're little, so that they can grow accustomed to it at a young age, because trying to flip them from everything that they have at home to something in another country is a difficult task. what else? Now, what I will say, one thing I do agree with her on is the school. So she is in virtual school, and so it makes it harder for her to have a social life here, because she's not just seated with other kids by default. We have to find them. So I talked about getting her into the international school here, and she's not a huge fan of it, because she feels like finishing her last year at a new school around kids that she never grew up with. She feels like the outsider. Everybody already knows each other. I get that at her age, but in my mind, it's like even at my age, I'm always placed in groups of new people that I have to, learn to coexist with. That I have to learn how to get to know them and, meet them and integrate myself with them. That's a lifelong skill you're gonna have to have. You can't shy away from groups of people that you don't know your whole life. That's never gonna work for you. So at my age, I understand that, because I live it. I have to do it all the time. But she ain't with it. So I don't know. I'm still trying to decide if I should make that decision or let her make her own decision. I don't know. That's pending, like I said. But yes, there are international schools here where they teach English and Spanish. We have had some experience with one of the international schools here, because I did find her a volleyball academy, and they practice at the high school, at the international high school. So she does get to meet with the girls there 3 days a week and interact with them. But they all know each other, so she still feels like the outsider. She's not being open-minded and just letting it happen. She's still apprehensive. A headache, I tell y'all. So I'm working on trying to plan things with the girls, get them together outside of practice, so that she can have, start building friendships and stop being a stranger. So it's a challenge with big kids, unless you're just blessed and lucky enough to have one of those kids that are, social butterflies. And she is a social butterfly, but it takes time to spread those wings, break out of that cocoon, if I should say. She's comfortable around who she's comfortable around. But I feel like she's being closed-minded, and she's not giving everything a chance soon enough. She's giving up too quickly. So that's the challenge with trying to bring teenagers over here. Bring your kids while they're little. In whatever country you want to, do it while they're young, or before you have kids. Or you're going to end up having to wait until they graduate, and that's going to be 12-year sentence for you. That you have to stay in the U.S. until your kid finishes school. So yeah, just something to consider. That's a very big part of this when you have kids. Very big, critical thing to consider. Next thing leads me right into that. The importance of interacting and engaging. You have to. I know some of us are antisocial, and I am. I'm not a big social butterfly. Might be hard to believe for some, but some people that know me know that I'm not huge on socializing outside of work. But any country you move to, you're going to have to engage. You're not gonna know everything you need to know if you don't talk to other people. You don't reach out. Joining the Facebook groups is a huge part of that. So Um, you have to meet people. You're not going to learn everything you need to know about a new country on your own. As much research as I did and with YouTubes that I watched before I got here, I still didn't learn everything I needed to know. And you won't. You won't learn everything you need to know about anywhere you go until you get there. You got to meet people and talk to them and, share, ask questions. Don't be ashamed to ask questions. Because when that person, especially if it's another expat, when that person got here, they didn't know everything either. Other people had to teach them. So it's the each one teach one concept. You don't want to live on an island, in an island. I tend to do that back home. I live in an island. I have my bubble. I have my small circle of people that I talk to. I don't even know if I can call it a circle, because and that's me living on an island, protected by peace. Here, we literally physically live on an island, but I can't mentally live on an island here. I have to, engage and interact with other people so that I can learn more about the country and about how to live here, how to gain access to things that I need. Same with the children. They have to engage. They have to interact. They can't just sit on TikTok all day, Netflix all day, Hulu all day. They have to... They have to find other kids to engage with and other... So, yeah, what was I? About integrating and I will say networking, but I feel like the word networking always sounds work related, but just engaging and interacting for everyday life, not just business or work. You have to engage with other people. The people here are friendly too, especially other expats. You're going to connect with the people that you belong with. I'll say that. And the people that I've come in contact with have been very helpful with sharing information and just remembering how it was when they got here. So so integrating and engaging is very important for both the adults and the children, if there's children involved. Next thing, investing. Lots of investment opportunity. It's crazy how much development is going on here. And for me, I feel like that's what Punta Cana is best for, investing. Living here is okay because it's touristy. That could be a good thing or a bad thing. It's the closest to being Americanized. That could be a good thing or a bad thing. Some people aren't coming here to be in an Americanized location. Some people are coming here to fully dive into the Dominican culture. It's not a whole lot of that in Punta Cana. There's like pockets of it, but for the most part, it's very commercialized. It's just a bunch of construction. Once you get away from the resorts, it's really nothing to experience or see. It's just developing. It's growing. Growing means a lot of construction going on. Lots and lots of construction going on. There's condo buildings going up everywhere. So that's Punta Cana. The beaches are pretty. I feel like what I'm missing here is the topography that I came expecting. I love greens, the mountains, the jungles. I love that. You're not gonna find that in Punta Cana. It's just black here. So that's why I'm venturing out to explore other areas of the country and see where I want to live. But investing, there's so many. That's the best thing that Punta Cana has going on. The investment opportunity. What people are doing is, they have what you call pre-construction here. You can invest in pre-construction before it even starts building. They'll show you the renderings, the concept. You talk numbers, and you decide to roll the dice and invest in this new project that's going to start at some point and finish at some point. It's a risk, like any other investment. It's a risk. You go in, you put the money down, and you just hope that it stays on schedule. Hope everything goes well. Hope they don't go bankrupt and disappear with your money. So that all it working with a reputable real estate agent and attorney plays a big role in where you decide to invest. So I don't want to get too deep into that, but that's the bottom line. There's lots of investment opportunities here. So I will say that though, with the pre-construction, a lot of people are buying into pre-construction because the prices are here. I'm talking, I've seen as low as $60,000 for a condo, brand new, everything be modern, all the way up into the millions. So the investment opportunity, your portfolio can be so diverse here because they have something for everybody's budget. So people are investing in these pre-construction projects, and let's say you get a $60,000 condo. People aren't buying these or investing in these to keep them. They're flipping them because you pay $60,000 the pre-construction price, but by the time the project is complete, it's appreciated to $100,000, $120,000. So they're turning around and they're selling them. So nobody's marrying any projects here. It's all a money game. It's investment, and that's how people are making their money here. They're just flipping. So that's what the pre-construction projects are for. So if you don't have a ton of money to invest, pre-construction is the way to go, because you're gonna get those pre-construction prices, and then at the end of the project you sell it for whatever the amount, double or whatever, and then you have money to drop on another project. So there is also opportunity to buy a completed project here, and rent that out as a vacation, Airbnb or whatever. There's no restrictions on Airbnb here like it is in the US, where you got to worry about, is the HOA going to allow it, the leasing office and all of that. Airbnb is a thing here. That's what they want, because they want to attract tourists. There's also some tax breaks, tax savings, tax exemptions for international investors. You don't have to have residency here or no kind of papers here or nothing in order to invest here, because the government is attracting new money, outside money. So if you have questions on that, I don't want to get too deep into that, because y'all know when I start talking about real estate, I can go all day. But we can schedule one-on-one Zooms to dive deeper into real estate here, if that's what you're interested in. Serious people only, because I don't have time to waste. Next thing, there are a lot of things that I needed to buy to feel at home. I told y'all before, this house that I moved into, they call it a villa here. This villa that I moved into, I found it on Airbnb, but I got a lease agreement for it outside of Airbnb because I don't want to pay Airbnb prices. So I negotiated a monthly rent with the property manager for this villa, and it came fully furnished. You know, just about everything you need, but not everything I needed. I didn't have to buy any furniture. We got 3 bedrooms. Each of them got queen size bed. We got living room. We got all the furniture, so I didn't have to buy any furniture. But to make it functional for me, like the way I live at home, there are things that I had to buy. I had to spend a lot of money to feel at home. Like, I didn't want to feel like I'm in somebody else's house, so I have to use all of their things that I normally would never use. So just some of those things, even things as simple as a broom and a mop. They have like a broom that you sweep with. I can't remember the last time I swept with a broom. I have a cordless vacuum. Mop. I haven't seen a mop that you have to wring since I was little. I like to use the Swiffer. So things like that I had to buy in order to clean the way that I like to clean. I had to order my dogs new kennels. Even though we got kennels at home, they needed them here. And I realized that after like the first 3 weeks of being here, or 2 weeks of being here, I was like, they're not acting right. They weren't even sleeping good at night because they're used to sleeping in their kennels. So throughout the night, they would just be getting up and roaming and walking around the house like they don't know where to go, what to do, what am I supposed to do without my kennel. So I had to order them new kennels, and it's a headache because everything that I order here, I have to pay whatever it costs on Amazon. Then I have to pay to accept the package because they have courier services here that that's the safest way for you to receive your packages. And so you have to pay by the pound with anything that you pick up from the courier service. You gotta pay for the pound. Mostly everything that I've ordered from Amazon, I've had to pay more to pick it up than what I paid for the actual product. So it's expensive. So I mean, yeah, a lot of things I had to order, like a crock pot, electric can opener. I have not been able to find an electric can opener anywhere. Ordered a new crock pot, ordered a new air fryer. I wanted to try that glass air fryer anyway, so I ordered that, and I have that here. I got the regular air fryers back home. I got 2 back home. So I decided to, since I have to order a new one here, let me just upgrade. So I ordered the glass one here. I haven't tried it yet though, but that's another thing. I paid more to accept it from the courier service than I paid for the actual air fryer. The kennels, because they're so heavy, like I said, you pay by the pound, whatever you pick up from them. It was a lot of money to pick those up. So my broom, my mop, just things, little things that I had to order and purchase to live comfortably, you know. Instead of feeling like I have to use their broom and their mop. It doesn't even clean like I needed to, but just things that I needed to feel at home. And when I tell y'all I was so excited to get that cordless vacuum and my Swiffer mop, get these dogs their kennels, now they're sleeping good. They're sleeping so much better now. I had to break Keno back into his kennel because being 3 weeks without a kennel, he kind of lost that discipline, so we have to work on breaking him back into it, and let it become normal for him again. What else? Those are just some of the things. I can't sit here and name everything that I've purchased, but just know that anything you order here, you want to go through a courier service so that you can at least get the package. Yes, it's going to cost more, but what are you going to do? And so that too, anything you order from Amazon, send it through the courier service, have it delivered to the courier. and pick it up from them. Now the courier service you can either go pick it up from them once it gets in country, or you can have them deliver it to you. Excuse me. So like all of my small items, I went and picked it up myself. But when their kennels came in, those came in large boxes. So I had them to deliver those to me. So we talked about investing, things I needed to buy, Amazon packages. The other thing about Amazon packages, we don't have next day, 2-day delivery. Amazon is very familiar with the courier services. So for some reason, when I order from Amazon, things that normally would have come to me next day, it still takes about 3 days to get to that courier service. The courier service is located in Doral, that's in the Miami area. So if I have my Texas address as a default address, it'll say next day. But when I change it to the courier address, delivery is like 3 days, 4 days, some things a week. So it takes longer to get to the courier in Florida, to their warehouse. And it's a process. You have to go into their app and do a pre-alert letting them know, hey, I just ordered this item from, or you have to wait till you get the shipping confirmation from Amazon. Once you get that shipping confirmation with the tracking number from Amazon, you go into the courier's app and you create what's called a pre-alert, just alerting them that, hey, this is the package I have coming in, these are the contents, this is how much I paid for it, and here's the tracking number. So you have to let them know. They won't ship it if you don't send them that information, because they do have to tax you on any packages, any item that's $200 or more. Now, if you order 6 different things and the total comes up to over 200, they don't tax you on that. It's just a single item that's valued over 200 or more. They have to tax you on that item. So that's why they always need to see your invoices to see how much you paid for your items, to know how to properly tax you. So, so it's been taking about a week for me to receive my items. The good thing is that if you create that pre-alert, and it's already in the system before your item is delivered to that warehouse in Doral, the good thing is that the next day they fly it out. So it's quick to get from Doral to here. It just takes longer for it to get from Amazon to Doral. So that's one thing I've had to adjust to. And so I mean, I'm used to it now. I just know now, order in advance. Nothing happens quick here. What else? Pesos versus debit and credit cards here. I was just so stuck on only using my debit card here. I don't want to go to the ATM machine. I don't want to have to deal with pesos and converting and all of that. But I started to realize that yes, you need to keep pesos on you. And yeah, I came here with a lot of cash to begin with, just so that I can prolong not using my debit card here. I wanted to just do everything cash for as long as I could, so I did that. But I don't like it because I had like $50 bills, $100 bills, 20s, and I will suggest that you not use any large bills like that, because to us that's nothing. You know, it's not a lot of money, but to them that's a lot of money, and they get suspicious. Like when I use my $50 bills in a grocery store, I'm holding up the line because now they gotta lift it up in the air, looking through it, gotta call a manager over, they gotta mark it, and they gotta do all this stuff, and I'm just looking at the line like, this is so embarrassing. I mean, they make me feel like I don't know, Big Meech's daughter or something, a girlfriend or something. Like, where she get this money from? We need to check it and see if it's real. That's how it made me feel every time I spent money like that. So I suggest don't use no large bills here. Even a $20 bill, they did the same thing. I haven't seen anybody check a $20 bill since I was like 10 years old. But they still did the whole process, checking my $20 bill. So I was like, you know what, let me just find an exchange store, exchange some of these dollars for pesos, and then start using my card, because I didn't like that. It was so uncomfortable and so embarrassing for them to be checking my money like that. But that's their process. You live and you learn. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm not spending any more big bills here. I'm learning to now go to the ATM machine, pull out pesos, not dollars, or go to the exchange stores and exchange my money, my US dollars for pesos. I downloaded an app. Me and Sana both have the currency converter app on our phone, so that nobody can tell us one thing, because these people tried to get us one time, thinking we didn't know. But this guy was trying to charge me $45 for something, and I told him, no, I'm not paying that. I'm paying $10 for it. And he said, okay, you take it, $10. But his wife, he asked me, do I have dollars or pesos? His wife was behind me talking about 3,000 pesos. Now, I've spent enough money here to know 3,000 pesos is not $10. So I guess she thought we were tourists and didn't know I was just gonna pay it. No. So I actually pulled out my app, and it told me how much I needed to pay them in pesos, and that's what I gave them. So these people will try to get you. So you have, knowledge is key. Knowledge is power, and that's not even the only time somebody tried to get me, but that was just the most recent event. So you can't just listen, to what people tell you. You have to know yourself, because people will get you. So yeah, don't come here with no $50 and $100 bills, because it's gonna be an uncomfortable experience for you. Try to exchange your money before you get here. The conversion rate is about 60 cents to the dollar here. But depending on where you go, they can exchange it for more, or they can exchange it for less. The closer you are to 60 cents, the better. Some people will give you 52 cents, some people will give you 58 cents or 59 cents. So you just have to know where to go to get the best exchange rate. So that's money. Learning the language. Yeah, you need to learn. You need to learn some Spanish to get around here. Now, I know a little bit of Spanish because my mother is Hispanic. She's Panamanian, and she's full-blooded. So Spanish is her first language. And growing up, she always spoke to us in Spanish and tried to teach us Spanish. But I think because of where we grew up, it was kind of embarrassing to know Spanish, looking like, a regular black girl. It was kind of embarrassing in our little minds at that young age. But as an adult, it's like, I wish I would have learned, fluent. I wish I would have learned it fluently. But she would talk to us in Spanish, and we would respond in English. We knew exactly what she said, but we weren't comfortable speaking Spanish. I'll speak for myself. I wasn't comfortable speaking Spanish. I was like, it was kind of embarrassing. I was shy to speak it. So I would just respond to her in English. So I never learned it fluently like I should have. I had the opportunity to, and just didn't. As an adult, I'm kicking myself in the butt. But I do know a little Spanish. I don't even like to use the little bit that I do know, because when I do, they think that I'm fluent, and they just go too far. And, I can't engage in a complete a full conversation back and forth in Spanish. So I hate to use a little bit that I do know. But being here, I've quickly learned that, yeah, you need to, there's certain words that you're going to use, or certain conversations that you're going to have on a regular basis, and you have to know, learn those words. Yes, there is the app, the translation app, but living here, you don't want to have to use that app the rest of your life. So it's best to get acquainted with the words that you're going to use often, and just remember them instead of just reading it all the time or showing it to the people. Make a conscious effort to remember those words. So if you have to say that sentence again or ask that question again, you don't have to pull out the app. You remember it from last time you used it. So yeah, you need to learn some Spanish, and they talk real fast here. I thought Cubans talk Spanish, fast Spanish, and they do. Cubans, I can tell the Cuban from a mile away. They talk so fast. Dominicans here talk fast too, and they have a slang. Just like how you Americans, the U.S., we have some slang. They have their slang too. So that's really gonna throw you off, hearing slang in a different language. So I say it's best to learn the basics before you get here, but you aren't going to really know how to communicate with the Dominicans until you learn Spanish from the Dominicans. So that's the language. Next thing, driving. Oh, another thing about the language too. There are a lot of people here, a lot of locals here that teach Spanish, and at a more affordable price than probably what you're paying, those apps or Rosetta Stone and all of that. So I would recommend to get with a local here and let them teach you Spanish. One, because it's cheaper, and two, because you're learning it the way they speak it, so it's easier to converse. So that's the language. Next thing is driving. Yeah, I'm not doing it. I've been here for exactly a month and 3 days, and I have not driven once. I'm not doing it. I don't even have the desire to do it. There's no road rules. A 2-lane highway could quickly turn into a 5-way highway, a 5-lane highway. Because there's no road rules. Cops aren't pulling people over for passing and creating another lane, and it's crazy. They drive so fast. They be texting, driving crazy. They be calling, making phone calls, driving crazy. I can't even look up when I'm in a car, when I'm in the back seat. I can't even look up because I would just have many heart attacks the whole way to wherever I'm going. Because the way they just slam on brakes, they get this close to you and slam on brakes. My heart can't take it. My anxiety cannot take the driving here. I don't even want to own a car here because I feel like it would just be in the shop all the time. Having to slam on brakes because people pulling out in front of you. The motos pulling out in front of the motorbikes. They pulling out in front of you, weaving through traffic. The buses, the vans, the trucks, everybody drives stupid. You think you live in Houston and people drive stupid. That's nothing. I will drive in Houston any day with my eyes closed before I drive here. There's no road rules. Hardly any stoplights. Stop sign, what is that? Yeah, so I have no desire to drive here, and I feel good for being here for a little over a month and not have driven yet, because I feel like in order to learn how to drive here, you have to be so defensive and on edge, because you never know who's behind you, who's on the side of you, who's gonna pull out in front of you. There's no right of way. There's none of that. It's stupid. It's just ignorant the way they drive here. And I don't even want to have to learn, because it's going to make me a different person, having to be on the defense like that all the time. So I have a local driver. He's a local, Same person I told y'all about in my previous video. I'm still rocking with him. We built that trusted relationship, so where I can pay him for a month and he take me anywhere I want to go. He's always there on time when I, call him to pick me up. I tell him what time to be here, and he's here. We never have an issue with timing. He always shows up. So we have that relationship, that trusted relationship, to where I can pay him by the month now instead of having to pull out money every day he dropping me off. I gotta pull out money and pay him. Change here and there every day. I got sick of that. So we're good with the flat rate for the month. And I'm okay with that. Even sitting in the back seat, not having to drive, my heart still be racing. It's like I'm on a roller coaster. I'm one of those now. I used to love roller coasters when I was little, but now that I'm older, and my kids force me to get on the roller coaster. My eyes are closed, especially when it comes to like those steep drops or the sharp turns. I'm closing my eyes. That's what I'm doing in this car. I can't even look up, because if I see what's going on, my anxiety is gonna be up. So I have to just look down, and I'm just doing stuff on my phone the whole time, so I don't see it. Yeah, so that's driving here. I would never rent a car here either, because insurance it's so easy to get in a wreck here because of the way they're driving, especially if you're not used to this type of driving. I would never rent a car here if you haven't driven here before. It's gonna cost you a lot of money, and time. It'll ruin your trip here, because now you got to deal with this insurance and this wrecked car, and no, I don't want it. I don't want to worry about having to stop at them gas stations. I don't want to have to worry about oil changes, tire rotations, vehicle maintenance, and I don't have to worry about all that. I went from having to worry about doing that times 3 with 3 cars in the U.S. to coming here and not having to do it at all. It's such a peace of mind. Such a peace of mind. And I don't want the responsibility anymore of owning a car. The way they drive here, I know that my car would be in the shop or end up getting totaled very quickly because of how they drive here. So I'd rather not have the responsibility. My driver is a local. He's used to it. They know how to drive a real life GTA, and yeah, no, I'll leave that up to the locals. I don't want to learn how to drive here. But that's a part of me meeting one of my goals of living my soft life. Not having to be on the defense. Not having that anxiety of getting into an accident or worrying about my car breaking down, brake issues, this, that. It's a peace of mind for me to not have a car. That's the real luxury. The luxury ain't what type of car you have, the fancy car you have. The real luxury is not having one at all. For me, that's what works for me. And Uber here is so cheap. Like, the most I've spent on Uber was like $8, and that was with a tip. So it's not like the US. So for me, it's so much more beneficial to pay a driver. My driver stops working at 10 p.m. So if I'm out past 10 p.m., that's when I will call an Uber to pick me up and bring me home. Last thing I'm going to touch on is, somebody asked about this. The men here, the HIV rate. There's a lot of beautiful people here in this country. And everybody looks so different. Everybody don't look the same, you know? So you got some people that are more attractive than others. It just depends on what's attractive to you. You know, you've got people in different tax brackets, so they present themselves differently. There are some beautiful men here. Yes, I have seen them. There are some not so attractive men here, but that's just my little opinion. You know, your opinion could be completely different. But yes, there are gorgeous men here. Yes, there are. The HIV rate, the LGBT whatever friendly community. That's not a big thing here. You don't hear about it here like you do in the U.S. Whatever people do, you don't know about it because that's not something that's widely discussed here. So I can't look at somebody and be like, oh, they're gay or bisexual or whatever. I don't know. That's just not a thing here. If whatever people do in the bedroom, it's not discussed publicly here. Now, there is an area, there are some little pockets where you do see the working girls walking the streets. It's more popular on the North Coast. There's one area that's called Sosua. Sosua, that's where all the lonely men go. That's where they go to, pay for the working girls. And that area is just known for that. Here, like I said, I've seen on some corners, depending on what area I'm in, I've seen the girls walking the streets. But I haven't heard of a high STD or HIV rate here in Punta Cana. The STD rate is talked about up in that North Sosua area because of the type of sexual activity that happens there. But yeah, as far as, being LGBTQA friendly, it's just not talked about here. So I don't have much information on that. I haven't heard much about it here. It's not all over social media. It's not all over the news like it is in the U.S. This is just a different place, different culture. This person also asked about the men in construction. I don't know why, but here the construction workers are the Haitians. Every construction site that I've passed, it's always the Haitians. The Haitians do a lot of labor here. And that's that. It's not. You're not gonna see men with six packs and no shirts with a tool belt and blue jeans on building houses here. It's the Haitians that do a lot of the labor here. So not much on that either. Probably not what you wanted to hear, but that's how it is. A lot of the Haitians do a lot of the labor here. And they do good work, and I've heard that a lot of the developers prefer to work with the Haitians in doing construction because they do more quality work than the Dominicans do. That's just what I've heard. So that's what construction is like here. Speaking of construction, back to the investing piece, I want y'all to know that the construction here is not like the U.S. You're not gonna see lumber, wood frame. They don't do that here. Everything is built with cinder blocks, concrete and paint and rebar. That's all you see whenever you pass a construction site. That's all you're gonna see is bricks and rebar. None of that wood, lumber, wood framing stuff. So everything here is solid. So that's all I have. I know this one went so long because there was so much to discuss and so I'm way behind, but that's my 1 month experience so far. I did post on my Facebook to give y'all the opportunity to let me know if there was anything else that you had wanted me to discuss, that you had questions about. I hope I covered everything, but if there is something that I did not discuss that you want to know more about, let me know. Just either drop it in the comments or send me a message and let me know. All right, bye for now.